When I first met her, she was just a shadow behind a cage door, her eyes wide with uncertainty. Her slender body pressed so close to the cold metal that it seemed she might melt through the bars and vanish. The rescue shelter was bustling with hopeful voices, the clatter of feeding bowls, and the eager yips of other dogs vying for attention. But she sat silent, her gaze fixed not on the visitors streaming past, but on some distant place, as if she was searching for something she'd long lost. I didn't know her name yet, only that in that moment she needed someone to see her, truly see her. I knelt by her enclosure, the concrete floor cool beneath my knees. She didn't rush the gate. She didn't bark or whimper. Instead, she simply watched me, her amber eyes reflecting 1,000 unspoken stories. The shelter volunteer told me she was about 2 years old, found wandering the outskirts of town, thin and frightened, refusing to let anyone near her for days. They called her Daisy, a name that seemed almost too gentle for a dog whose life so far had been marked by hardship. When I reached out my hand, she flinched, pressing herself harder against the wall. I didn't push. I just talked to her in a soft voice, telling her about the sun outside, about the grass she might one day run through, about the family waiting for her. Though at that moment, I didn't realize that family would be me. After a while, she inched closer, nose twitching, curiosity winning over fear. That was our first moment of connection, a fragile bridge built on patience and trust. Adopting Daisy wasn't a decision made in an instant. It took several visits, each one a test of patience and gentle persistence. I brought treats, sat quietly, and waited for her to come to me. Gradually, she did. First a cautious sniff, then a tentative lick of my hand, until finally, on a rainy afternoon, she allowed me to slip a leash over her head and lead her out of the shelter for the first time. I will never forget the way she paused at the door, nose lifted to the scent of the wet earth, eyes wide with wonder and fear, taking her first hesitant steps into freedom. The car ride home was silent. Daisy curled up in the back seat, trembling, her body language tight and guarded. I spoke to her softly, reassuring her that she was safe. At home, she explored each room with slow, measured steps, tail tucked, every sound making her flinch. In those first days, she hardly ate, choosing instead to curl up in the corner of the living room, nose tucked under her paws, as if trying to make herself invisible. I learned quickly that love, for a rescue dog, is not a simple thing. It's earned in the quiet moments, in the small gestures of trust, a head resting on your knee, a wagging tail when you enter the room, the first time she falls asleep beside you without fear. Daisy's journey was not linear. There were setbacks, nights when thunder sent her scrambling under the bed, mornings when the sight of a stranger on our walk made her freeze. But there were also victories. The first time she chased a ball across the yard, the first time she greeted me at the door, tail wagging, eyes bright with recognition and joy. As weeks turned to months, Daisy's spirit began to emerge. She was gentle, sensitive, and fiercely loyal. She learned the rhythms of our home, the sound of the coffee maker in the morning, the creak of the floorboards at night, the way sunlight spilled through the kitchen window in the afternoons. She became my shadow, following me from room to room, content just to be near. Each day, her confidence grew. She learned to trust not just me, but the world around her. But healing is never a straight line. There were days when her past would rear its head, when a sudden movement or loud noise would send her retreating into herself. On those days, I sat with her, offering comfort without expectation, letting her know that it was okay to be afraid, that I wasn't going anywhere. In time, she learned that she was safe, that she belonged, that she was loved. Daisy's presence changed my life in ways I could never have anticipated. She taught me the power of patience, the importance of consistency, the meaning of unconditional love. She reminded me that true connection is built not on grand gestures, but on the accumulation of small, everyday acts of kindness. Through her, I learned that healing is possible, even after the worst kinds of hurt. One crisp autumn afternoon, as leaves tumbled from the trees and the air was thick with the scent of earth and wood smoke, Daisy and I walked through the park. Children ran past us, their laughter ringing through the air. Other dogs bounded across the grass, chasing sticks and each other. For the first time, Daisy didn't shrink away. Instead, she stood by my side, tail wagging, eyes alight with curiosity. She watched the world, not with fear, but with wonder. In that moment, I realized how far she'd come, from the silent, trembling shadow in a shelter to this joyful, confident companion. There were so many firsts. Her first bath, her first trip to the beach, the first time she let a stranger pet her. Each milestone was a reminder of her courage, her resilience, her capacity for joy. She learned to love toys, to beg for treats, to snuggle close on cold nights. She learned that the world could be a place of safety, of warmth, of love. But perhaps the most profound change was the way Daisy transformed the hearts of those around her. Friends and neighbors who met her were drawn in by her gentle spirit, her soulful eyes, her quiet strength. She became a bridge, connecting people, inspiring kindness, reminding us all that every creature deserves a second chance. One winter evening, a storm rattled the windows, wind howling through the trees. Daisy, once terrified by such sounds, curled up beside me on the couch, her head resting on my lap, eyes drifting closed. I stroked her soft ears, marveling at her trust, her bravery, her willingness to love again despite all she'd endured. In that moment, I understood that rescue is not a one-way act. Yes, I had saved Daisy, but in so many ways, she had saved me too. She brought light into my life, teaching me to slow down, to appreciate the simple joys. A walk in the park, a quiet evening at home, the warmth of another living being by your side. She reminded me that healing takes time, that progress is measured in small steps, that love is always worth the effort. There were hard days, of course, days when the weight of Daisy's past seemed insurmountable, when her fear and anxiety threatened to undo all the progress we'd made. But on those days, I remembered the promise I made to her when I brought her home, that I would never give up on her, that I would be her family, that I would love her no matter what. And in time, Daisy learned to believe in that promise, to trust that she was truly home. Her story is a testament to the resilience of the spirit, to the transformative power of love and patience. She is a living reminder that even the most broken among us can find healing, that every creature deserves compassion, that every life has value. As the seasons changed, so did Daisy. She grew stronger, more confident, more joyful. She learned to greet each day with hope, to embrace the world with open eyes and a wagging tail. She became a source of comfort and joy, not just for me, but for everyone who knew her. When I look back on our journey together, I am humbled by the lessons Daisy has taught me. She showed me that love is not always easy, that it requires sacrifice, patience, and the willingness to keep trying, even when progress is slow. She taught me that trust is earned, not given, and that true healing comes from the steady accumulation of small acts of kindness. She also taught me about forgiveness, about letting go of the past and choosing to embrace the present. Daisy never forgot her hardships, but she didn't let them define her. She chose to trust, to love, to hope. In doing so, she inspired me to do the same. There are moments, quiet and unremarkable, when I catch Daisy watching me with those wise, soulful eyes, and I feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude. Gratitude for her presence, her love, her unwavering trust. Gratitude for the way she has taught me to see the world, to notice the small joys, to appreciate the beauty in the everyday, to believe in the possibility of second chances. Daisy's journey is not unique. All across the world, dogs like her are waiting in shelters, hoping for a kind word, a gentle touch, a home to call their own. Each one has a story, a history, a heart full of hope. And each one has the potential to change a life, to teach, to heal, to love. If there's one lesson I hope to share from Daisy's story, it's this: never underestimate the power of compassion. Every creature, no matter how broken or afraid, deserves a chance to heal, to trust, to love. And sometimes in rescuing them, we find that we are the ones who are truly rescued. Daisy's life is a testament to the resilience of the heart, to the enduring power of hope, to the beauty of second chances. She is not just my dog, she is my teacher, my companion, my friend. She reminds me every day that love can heal even the deepest wounds, that trust can be rebuilt, that joy can be found in the simplest moments. As I watch her now, chasing sunlight across the yard, nosing through the autumn leaves, curling up beside me at the end of a long day, I'm reminded of the incredible journey we've shared. From a frightened, broken dog behind a cage door to a beloved member of the family, Daisy's story is one of hope, of healing, of love. And as we walk this path together, I know that no matter what the future holds, we will face it side by side, our hearts forever changed by the journey we've shared. For in rescuing Daisy, I found not just a companion, but a reminder of the power of love to heal, to transform, and to bring light even in the darkest of places.